Hi, my name is Keith Kinambuga, a screenwriter, and today I'm not going to talk about story at all. We'll be talking about money, something better. How do you make your money as a screenwriter? And the basic document that will determine how much money you make is your contract. The experience, that's something you'll gain over time, increase your value, how you brand yourself. But most of the time when you're hired, you'll be reading a contract and signing it and committing all your talent to a certain production house or a certain project. So when you're starting out with your contract, the first thing that you're supposed to look at, you're given the contract by the producer. Low language is sometimes confusing, but I'll give you the basics that I've learned over the few years that I've learned, the few years that I've been in screenwriting. And the first question that you should ask yourself is, why am I signing this contract? You'll be surprised that sometimes, because there are different aspects of script writing, there is the actual scripting when you're typing on your keyboard and all that stuff, and you're coming up with the formats of how where the dialogue will be, the character, that structure in CellTX, the software. Yes, the one that annoys you so very much. You have to know whether you're going to be doing the actual script writing, whether you're going to be storylining, or maybe you're very experienced and you're just consulting. And each of them definitely are costed differently. I'll even give you some of the rates that I know of in the industry. For example, in a series, you may be paid as little as 2,000. Yes, true, 2,000. The average normally is between 10 to 15K per episode. I know now there are some people who are already switching off, they'll never screenwrite again. And the commissioned episodes will be 25K. So if you're still listening, these are important values for you to know, so that when you're quoting to a producer, you don't quote something that the industry is not ready for yet. We are not at the level of Hollywood. We're still struggling, and we're still establishing the industry. So 2K is a little bit throwaway price. Hiyo hata sijui sasa nitafanya nini nayo, sijui nitalisha mtoto aje. But that's where you can start. Although my first series that I worked on, I was getting 5K per episode. So it's been upwards from then. But still, the rates are quite low. That we work with them. We are good guys. Writers are good guys. Please hire us and pay us very well. We take a lot of time and sweat to present to you these stories. So why? That was the why. Then the next thing you're supposed to look at in your contract, you have who is signing the contract. It's either you're working with a production house, so it will be between you as an individual and the production house, or it can be maybe you own your own production house. So it will be between two production houses. So that should be clearly stated in your contract. And you should have your addresses written on it. The company addresses, if it's in the case of a production company, but as an individual, you just need your ID number. You can put your PIN number, but the ID number is the important one. Yeah, so that handles the who. Make sure it's stated in the contract. The why, then the what. What is it exactly you're going to do? It's either you're writing or you are storylining, or everything has to be clearly stated, or consulting. Next question is where. It should be clear in your contract where you're expected to work. Some producers may want you to be in the studio, right in the studio, or somewhere in the vicinity of the studio, so that they can control you, what you're doing. And by that it's not the norm. Writers are left to write wherever they want to write. Maybe only when you're storylining, that's when you're needed in the company building, where they provide you food, clothing, shelter. Anyway, the food is the important other thing, but we'll come to that. So your contract should also state where you are supposed to work. You can work from home. Most writers do work from home. Some producers may say, hey, go to a cafe. We'll pay for your coffee, we'll pay for your lattes, we'll pay for whatever it is. You're living large as you create. Then on to the next question is when. This is what most people confuse or forget. Your contract should state the deadlines you're supposed to deliver your episode or your film, and then it should also state the exact date when you should be paid. Exact date, exact being the key word. It can be either 2 or 3 days after you've handed in the episode, or a month, whatever it is. Even if you have agreed, I'll write today and I'll be paid after a year, make sure that it's written in the contract so that there's no reason for conflict. There's no grounds for conflict at all when you've finished your work and you expect your pay. That is the next question. Should be, I think I've tackled all the questions for now. Yes, I'm not forgetting anything. Another important aspect that I forgot. Gosh, you see, even an experienced writer can forget some of these things. IP rights. Your IP rights are as important as what you're earning. Especially if it's your own project. If you own the IP, please negotiate to do not sell it. Insist that you keep your IP so that you're able to use your idea for other things. Or once it's sold, you can agree to get a percentage of the sales revenue, a percentage of the sales revenue. Yeah, because this is what happens in the most established industries. So as writers, we might as well dance to the tune and ask for our rights. This is creative work. The same way musicians get a royalty is the same way that a writer who owns the work is supposed to get the royalty. Each time your episode is aired, you're supposed to get a little cash. The same way Nameless's song is played on radio and he gets a little cash from it. I won't define it as little cash. He gets good cash. So you should be careful when you're negotiating your IP rights. Have a lawyer present. I am not an expert. Please have a lawyer present when you're negotiating your contract. Then there's lunch, transport. Those are basics when you're storylining. Normally producers do give you lunch. If you are supposed to go on set, you're given transport. These are basics. Yeah, the most important things I think I've tackled. An important aspect of the business of screenwriting and concentrating mainly on the contract is working with your producer. Obviously, he's the one who pays you. So you've got to know. The good thing with this career is, as a writer, you can choose who your boss should be. So these are some of the questions that will help you gauge, is this a real producer ama atanigonga? So first question, does the producer know what he or she wants? Do they know what they want? Do they know what they want from the story? Will they sit you down and explain what they need from you? If a producer doesn't do that, there's something off. There'll be some, if there's nothing off at that time, there'll be something off when you're doing the actual writing. So make sure that you'll always get a feel. Just if you can answer that question, then you're good. Do they have any lingering worries about writers? That's another thing. And are they open about it? Honesty is the best policy, because film and series, it's all about teamwork. So if the producer is honest with you, that's like 100%. I'd rather work with an honest producer who tells me, write this story for me, I'll pay you after 10 years, than somebody who will tell me that I write this story, then they'll pay me tomorrow, and they don't. And they don't the next week, and they don't the next month. So it's all about that. And it's a small industry. So a producer who does that, or a writer who doesn't meet what they're supposed to do, the task that they have been given, their goals, everybody will know sooner or later. 1 year, 2 years, you won't last too long in the industry. Is there any potential danger in the script? And this normally touches on, from the producer's viewpoint, normally touches on budget. And this goes on to my next question. What is the budget and the series template? Do they understand the series? Do they understand what is the hook of the series? What is hot in the series? How do you propagate it through your writing? For example, if it's CSI, you can't have an episode where there's no case at all that they're investigating. That changes everything. There has to be a case somehow. Even if they are just concentrating on one character, maybe he has his own case investigating his own way, away from the normal CSI setting. So do they understand the series template? Are they experienced? Are there experienced writers in the writing team? And this is where I can explain some of the aspects of writing. You have storylining, whereby you sit a group of writers, normally about 4 writers, 5 writers. Then you decide on how the story will go, what events will take place, when and where. This is way before you've started writing. This is way before you've started using CellTX and Final Draft. You'll normally have a few days of storylining. Sometimes it's many days. It depends on the project that you're working on, the seriousness, the professionalism. If it's a very professional, top-notch project, you can storyline for weeks. But normally the industry average in Kenya, you'll storyline for maximum of 5 days, 6 days, and then you break off, write 20 episodes each one of you. Not 20 episodes each one of you. You write cumulatively 20 episodes, so each person will get, like, if you're 5 writers, you'll get 4. Yeah. So in that case, it is important to have somebody who's very experienced, and it is also equally important to have somebody who's not as experienced, because they are the fresh minds, the young minds, the guys straight from campus, straight from film school. They're the ones who have that fresh idea. Mtu kama mimi naweza kuwa nimezeeka sana, and I'm so accustomed to the rules of screenwriting that if somebody presents to me a new idea or just something outlandish, I want to be able to absorb it as well as a newbie, mtoto mdogo. You can get the scenario. Yeah. So thank you. That is it.